Hello and welcome to another episode of Soul and Screen. In this particular video, I will be doing a prediction on the upcoming episode of Tyler Perry's Sistas, Season 9, Episode 13. I actually don't know the title of it right now, but just to get into it, based off of the promos that I've seen, we'll see what kind of episode is going to be. They've been a little disappointing as we've gotten a little deeper into the season, but let's just get into it. So we leave off where Fatima gets a phone call from Karen, apparently reaching out to her, and the promo shows that Karen is calling Fatima from some place, telling her that she just really wasn't seeing herself. Like when she looks in the mirror, she sees somebody else, to the point where Fatima was just like, Karen, are you okay? Like what's going on, type of a thing. And before even that, Fatima's like, let me get Zach. And then Karen tells her, no, this ain't about Zach. This don't have anything to do with Zach. So let's just talk about that kind of stuff first. So first, what I'm thinking is Karen must have went to some type of a facility, postpartum facility group or something like that Dr. Vaughn had recommended. I believe that's where she went, and I think she took Faith with her. And in the process of discussing what I'm thinking may have happened, I think is going to turn into a little kind of AA-ish. And what I mean by that is possibly they're going to talk to her about working through some of her emotions and kind of making amends with people. And to the point where I think the writers are still on this, let's redeem Karen situation. Or campaign, because, for the longest she was just like the underdog or whatever. So now they're trying to force feed her recovery process to us too soon. And as a result, I think they're going to have her reach out to Fatima to cultivate this environment where she actually apologizes to Fatima for how she's been acting through her entire pregnancy, just cussing her out and things like that. And I'm not really sure. I just kind of think that's probably what they're going to do. And that will open the door for them to kind of, I don't want to say reconcile, but have a more of a friendship type of relationship versus being cordial. Because before the whole situation with the babies being born, Fatima and Karen had come to a place in the relationship where they decided they would be cordial to one another because their kids would possibly be siblings, right? And so, well, not possibly, their kids would be siblings. And as a result, they were going to be in each other's lives no matter what. And so with that being said, they decided to come to a different place of the relationship where they would be cordial with one another and really try to truly co-parent. At that point, I think that's kind of where they were. But after the whole hospital thing, I think Karen was very much so paying attention for how Fatima was advocating for her, walking through the hospital, knowing that Fatima is very much so at the beginning of her pregnancy and was like walking around that whole hospital or being very attentive to Karen during this process, and being with her may have opened Karen's eyes enough to see that Fatima is and always has been a cool chick. I just let, my emotions about Zach and me wanting to be with him, distort and contaminate that, to the point where I missed who she was as a person. And so I do think that that's probably going to be something that they do. It'll be Fatima who somehow reaches out or takes Karen back home. Also in the video, or the promo video, it sounds like when Fatima's coming downstairs looking for Zach, because she looks like she's gonna go pick up Karen, she's come down and she's looking for Zach. So I think she calls him because he's on the phone saying, yeah, like Karen missing and she took Faith and all this kind of stuff. And I think that's Fatima, because she reached out to him when she came downstairs and didn't see him there. She called him and like, where you at? And that's where he did. I think he told her that that's where he was and he was helping and all that kind of stuff. And then she ends up saying, well, Karen called me or something like that, and I'm on my way to pick her up, that kind of thing, and she drops her off. That's kind of what I'm thinking was going to happen with that. Outside of that, I honestly have no idea, like, again, why they, how they're going to make that make sense. Again, like, in all honesty, Karen left her phone. So I'm trying to figure out how you know Fatima's phone number by heart. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just, how do you know Fatima's phone number by heart, so not to the point where you can call her and have her pick you up because you left your phone? So I honestly don't know what's going on with the writing. I don't know if I really don't know, but I think by them trying to force feed this reconciliation or relationship between Fatima and Karen is messing some stuff up. Like, so, but we'll see what happens. Outside of that, I believe the next clip that I remember is Zach kind of having an argument with Fatima in the morning, like, just, telling her, like, you always talking about communication, but you not communicating, and you making it seem like I ain't SHIT. And I was sitting there like, so first of all, when did she make you feel like you wasn't nothing? Because she didn't do anything. Once again, Chaz bought that purse for her without any of her knowledge. It wasn't like she went up to that man and asked him to buy her a purse. She was this man's acting as this man's legal advisor and looking over his contract to tell him to take it to his manager and have them look it over. And it happened to work out in their favor, to the point they wanted to thank her, and he wanted to go a little extra because he did tell her, real talk, I low-key like you. So we know that he did purchase the purse, kind of hoping that it was going to give him some additional cool points, because he didn't send it to the office. He sent it to her house. But how is that Fatima's fault? How is any of that why does he feel like she making him feel like, like less than a man, so to speak, because of her? Like, what didn't she communicate that's making you feel this way? Because nothing that she did warranted that comment, unless it's some stuff that we not gonna see until later on, and in the episode. And so I'm thinking maybe, but if we are basing this off of last week's episode and the things that have transpired between those last couple of episodes, where we all in that one day where Fatima get the flowers and all that, and then Zach meets up with Chaz and starts something, and then if we talking about them last like 3 episodes, make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, Zach is still so much in his feelings that he's projecting, and I really, really hope Fatima calls him on it. I really hope she calls him on the fact that you talk about communication. You left. We had just got into an argument, and I come downstairs to see, and you gone. And you went and not just gone to look for your ex. And you know what I'm saying? Like, and again, at this point, I honestly, I know there are people who believe this, and, to each his own. I don't think that it's okay for Zach to go help look for her. I know it's fresh. I think somebody in one of my comments mentions it's really, really fresh. And I agree, it's fresh, but we at some point gotta cut the cord. And so why not now? If Karen had reached out to Zach, like somebody had already obviously reached out to him, because Miss Lisa told Aaron that. So that was enough. Zach, have you heard from Karen? No, I haven't heard from him. Got you. Cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was enough. Miss Lisa had already communicated that to Aaron, that she checked with Zach and he hadn't heard from her. To now go to an extra step and say, Zach, will you come over here and help us? Like, Karen is missing, and can you come over here and help us find her? That's extra. Or even for them to call after they've already kind of asked, have you heard from her? Because now, he didn't think nothing of it. He was just like, no. And now you guys are trying to pull on his heartstrings for her and bring him back into it by, oh, she missing. And so you get somebody calling you and they sounding all distraught and stuff. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You probably gonna go and help, but he should not have gone and helped. Why? Because he is in an argument with his fiance. I think he needs to be trying to to fix that relationship instead of deflecting and going, not dealing with your situation and going and helping Karen in her situation. You gonna have to let Karen deal with her grief and all that kind of stuff on her own. Why? Because you still dealing with yours. You cannot help someone heal when you are hurting. It's once again bringing them together through a trauma bond. And this is when they need to be distancing each other from themselves. They need to figure out how to get through this with their own significant other or alone. Let me put it that way, because I do think there are certain things that you're not going to be able to share or, have your significant other experience and understand. Fatima can't fully understand what Zach is feeling, but she can have empathy for him, and she has had the empathy for him. But Zach is still operating out of his feelings to the point where now he's lashing out, and now he's in a place of self-sabotage. You about to sabotage your whole relationship because you mad at a comment that you misinterpreted. Period. And that one comment got you setting everything ablaze. That one comment, you hearing happy instead of relief, got you in your feelings. He was a jerk that morning when she made him breakfast. He was a jerk when he accepted the meeting. When he got on the phone with Fatima, he should have told her, he sent you a $6,000 purse. What's that about? That could have literally been the whole discussion that opened up, but she didn't know it. He chose to hide that so that he can go to this meeting, start a fight or an argument with her client, not just some random dude who just talking to her client. He literally hired her firm to represent him. That can mess up her career. Take it past that. Then he tells her doctor, we looking into other options, when she just told him that I'm not looking into this. Is my body, and I'm not doing the water birth thing. She had just told him that. And now everybody is tripping because they like Fatima not communicating. Hello? Who did communicate in this? It's him. And as a result of that one comment that she said and he misinterpreted, he heard it through his feelings and not through his ears, his listening ears. Because if he would have heard through his listening ears, he would have heard her say relieved and not happy. When he said it to her, he said, I heard you say you was happy. That is not what she said. She chose not to argue with him. She absolutely told him, I'm not arguing with a drunk. And she decided to try to leave. And so with that being said, Zach is in the place where he is self-sabotaging. If you want to blow up your relationships because you in your feelings instead of having a for real conversation, because nowhere has Fatima entertained Chaz. She hasn't even. Why? Because absolutely everybody, if you watching this show, she wants him. She wants Zach. If she wanted Chaz, she could have kept all the gifts and told everybody, like, let's take these home. Send this to my house. Right? You know what I mean? She didn't. She's not in any part like engaging in Chaz's stuff. She told him in front of the house. I'm still trying to understand why people is tripping on how she handled things in front of the house, because I think I saw that on Instagram where people were like, Fatima handled that wrong in front of the house. I honestly would love to hear an explanation to make it make sense to me, because I think she handled it exactly the way that she was supposed to handle it. I mean, she literally asked Zach to let her handle it professionally, and she got him out the way so that she can tell Chaz that there is nothing for them. Like, they are client only. Like, you my client only. I don't want you to like me. Please leave. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what else was she supposed to do? Like, so yeah, if y'all know, help me understand. I'm okay with that. But anyway, that's pretty much what I think is going to happen in that. I think he's in the process of where he is like about to self-destruct, self-sabotage. And I'm wondering how much longer Fatima's temperance is going to be on this. Like, how much grace is she going to continue extending towards, to him in regards to this? Because I honestly don't want her to continue to be his punching bag. We've been talking about it in this channel for a while, like the rumors that were going on that Fatima may leave. I honestly think if this is the way that he's going to continue to act, I absolutely please want her to go and take a break. Like, talk to me when you got, when you got a little bit more sessions under your belt with Dr. Reed, because you're not about to, treat me and disrespect me, treat me wrong and disrespect me for a comment that I actually didn't say, but for a feeling that I absolutely had. You don't get to tell me how to feel about this situation. Period, point blank. You don't get to tell someone they can't, even if she was happy. In all honesty, I mean, that would be jacked up, but you don't get to say that she don't get to feel that way. Like, I mean, Tiffany thinks it would be jacked up, but you don't get to judge other people's feelings. If that's how they feel, that's how they feel. But the truth of the matter is, once again, she never said happy. She said she was relieved. Be honest, I'm relieved for her. Period. So, anyway, I think that's pretty much it. I didn't really see anything else worth discussing in the promo. That I can recall. So if anything stood out for you guys, that's, we can talk about it, but that was pretty much that stood out. Well, the only things that stood out in the promo for me going into tomorrow's episode. So definitely looking forward to seeing how close of a prediction of my prediction is correct. It is Karen like at some type of a, postpartum help group where she's going to try to make amends with Fatima in regards to everything. And, there was another part where where Zach was telling Danny, like, about the argument, I'm assuming, because Danny is like, Fatima a good one. And he looks at her and say, like, she my friend. But I'm really hoping that Danny brings some clarity and some wisdom to him. But the way, if he came at Fatima that next morning, if that's any kind of indication, it don't sound like it, because once again, you yelling and I ain't making you feel like nothing. If you feel like SHIT, is because you over here acting like one. You making me feel that way, period. He's been rejecting her ever since they got back from the hospital, period. So she been making him food, trying to get him to talk. Like, that's why I'm trying to really understand why people are saying Fatima is not communicating, when it's like you guys are projecting Zach onto Fatima. Like, she's been trying to get him to talk the whole time, but I can't make you talk. I can't make you communicate. Obviously, if I could, I would, but I can't make you communicate with me. I can't make you not reject every action in display of affection that I give to try to help you in this, to try to let you know that I'm here for you in this. And he's rejecting every act that she puts forth. And so again, I am definitely wondering how much longer she's going to take this. Like, I'm ready for her to be tired, because I'm tired for her. So anyway, let me know what you think. What are your predictions? I would love to hear your thoughts. What do you think is going to go on? Like I said, those are the ones that kind of stuck out. Anything else that was in the promo, I honestly don't remember, but those were I guess maybe the 3 key scenes of the promo that I saw that were interesting enough to stick to my mind and have a discussion about. But please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Let's get into a conversation. I would love, again, to hear what you guys are thinking about tomorrow's episode. Talk to you soon. Bye.